short demo, I want to show founders how they can use ChatGPT as your personal business consultant and advisor. We often go to forums, ask people, I've got this idea, how do I write a proposal, how do I pitch to an investor, and all that, so many questions. And we are normally, as a startup founder, when you start or having an idea, you may not know these terminologies, you may not know what questions to probably ask. That's where actually ChatGPT becomes a very good brainstorming whiteboard for you. Let's start with a very simple example. I've got here a business idea. I want to create a 2-page business proposal or a plan from this. In this case, I'm asking to raise about 50 lakhs in seed funding from an high network individual who's a senior president in hospitality industry. Focus that I've said this person is an high net worth individual and he's a senior from this particular industry. I'm not saying I'm just going to be raising money, prepare a business plan. No, I give it the model some context, and I'm also saying I'm going to raise INR 50 lakhs. So the model kind of knows these details so that it can pick up the relevant information to stitch together. And I'm saying this person, this president, they are very passionate about sustainability, local environment impact, and organic healthy eating. I'm giving even more context. So the model is able to deliver me a business plan which is tailored to their particular interest. This is not to say I'm making the business for the investor. This is my business idea. I'm making it palatable to the investor that I am currently seeking out to. The plan should emphasize these aspects, show clear financial projections, and I'm planning to offer them about 25% equity in the business. Additionally, include a marketing and branding strategy tailored to this investor's background and preferences. Again, this is not to say this is what I'll be pitching to them. This is not to say I'm making this business only for the investor purpose. Just giving it some data so that I can see the first draft. Then I can keep revising it. Always use ChatGPT or any of these large language models as a sounding board. Typically, I found out you need to interact with them 6, 7 times or 8 times before you kind of get the right answers that you are looking for. Let's see what is the answer in this case. I'm using the chat to an open preview model in this particular case. So it's going to be thinking, it's going to take a little bit more time than your GPT-4o model. But the results that it gives are likely to be better quality results. So we'll see that. Again, use these as your sounding board. This is just one prompt I've written. You may not get the clarity of writing this prompt at day one. You just write whatever comes to your mind, and you can even ask ChatGPT, can you refine this prompt so that it performs better? You can do that and give this idea. You can even ask ChatGPT to say, these are the informations I have given you. If you have questions, please ask them one by one. And if you're noticing very carefully, it is saying I'm analyzing the business information, I'm crafting the business plan. It's doing a lot of things. Even carefully watching those will kind of give you an idea how to think about this, going about this. It's kind of even named this very interestingly. It said this is Green Harvest Organics is a visionary startup committed to providing. It's kind of written a very beautiful first liner. Again, you don't need to take this, but reading this, giving this prompt a couple of times, the same prompt is going to give you very different results the next time. That's also a way for you to go over the white page syndrome and come up with interesting results and learn this topic. If you see a word here and you don't understand, go and Google it so you know more about this particular topic. And startup founders, as I said, you may not know and have all the answers when you begin. That's where these tools is very useful. Again, it doesn't replace a professional, an expert investor advisor or a consultant or a mentor, but before you go to them, you can be prepared. You can do your homework so that you can spend the time that you spend with them very qualitatively and get really expert things. So it's kind of broken it down as a business description, mission, vision, products, industry growth. This is a very beautiful thing. It's going to take you a lot of time to do this. It may not be correct, always validate, because these models tend to hallucinate, or what we call in the industry as confabulation, lying without the intention of lying. So validate the data. Then consumer trends, but it kind of gives you a format, right? How you have to prepare a business plan before you go to an investor when you don't have an idea. It's saying this is my target audience. That's a very key important question that investors are going to ask for any business viability. It's super important. Then it says channels that you can market, digital marketing, community engagement, partnership, and it will also give you a financial projection. First year you are making a loss, second year you are making a little profit, third year you are making more profit. Again, take these with a pinch of salt. It's giving you the template. It's giving you how you go about thinking it. If ChatGPT can do everything for you, it can run the business for you also. That's not what it meant to be. These models, with their knowledge of what they've read from the internet and the knowledge sources, they're giving you a direction, a guidance. Take it as such and then improve. Put your own soul, your secret sauce into it so that you can make this as a successful business. Usage of funds, where it is going to be applied, an investment offer, what you can give it to them, why you are offering them 25%, and finally a beautiful conclusion. So if you see, it's kind of giving you the overall business plan structure. Now you can go about tweaking this. And as I said, try this prompt one more time, you will be getting a very different results. That's also an interesting way to do this. Let's move on to the next prompt that you can actually give. You are going to make a pitch presentation. You have this business plan, but you want to go and take it as a pitch presentation. How do you do that? Give the next prompt. Very simple. I'm preparing this investor pitch. Can you provide me the top 5 questions that I'm likely to be asked? That is super important. When you make a plan, you think you've answered everything in the plan, but the investor will ask you something very basic because they're going to put their money and you'll think, oh my God, I should have thought about this. If they say, oh, what is the market you're going to do? Which is the place? Have you looked at your competitors? And as a startup first-time founder, you may not know that you have to do these things. That's what I'm expecting ChatGPT will tell me. And I'm also asking it, provide me with confident, aggressive answers that can focus on market opportunity, scalability, etc. Predominantly, this prompt I'm trying to say, can you give me top 5 questions that I need to be prepared with? And it's going to give me these results. Again, it's going to take time. We'll be seeing that. And use this opportunity to reflect upon what is the next question you could be asking. And like I said, if you don't know how to ask these prompts, ask ChatGPT. It's come up. How will you scale? The first question itself is a very beautiful question. How will you scale your business while maintaining sustainability and local environmental business? You saw how it is able to pick up to that first question that we asked, or the detail that we gave. This investor is a very local environment impact. They are very organic, healthy eating. They are into that. I have given them the model, the context. That is why it is able to give this question. If I haven't given that, this question that it's going to say are going to be very vanilla, very generic, not very useful to you. That's why you should give as much of context. If the investor is referred to you by a friend, it might make sense to say that this investor has been referred to me by a friend who comes from this background. So the questions can be tailored to that particular interest also. What strategies do you have in place to capture a significant share? How does this business differentiate itself? That's again a very super important question that every investor meet you will get. Can you provide more detail on your financial projections? How will my expertise in hospitality industry? Remember, I told this person is a senior president in hospitality industry. See the connection of the question that it's able to make, and the passion for sustainability be utilized in this venture. And it's also giving you tentative answers. My recommendations, take the questions, but the answers are just guideline. Don't limit to these answers because you know your business. If you are going to be into bakery, I'm 100% sure that at your soul, you have a very specific reason why you are doing, what is the unique selling point about your bakery. Bring that in. Every answer that you give, not only to your investor, to your customer, your product, should have a part of your soul. Meaning, when I say soul, your own uniqueness. If you are a couple of co-founders, each of you may bring different skill. Those skills, those uniqueness should be into the product and the answers that you make. Let's move on to the next prompt that you can give. In this case, I'm saying, what are you going to do for risk assessment? So, extending on the previous prompt, I'm going to be asking this risk assessment prompt now. What are the top 5 risk assessment or risk mitigation strategies that I should be doing or you will be doing is a question that investors are very likely to ask you. So let's get what ChatGPT's response for that. If you are new to an industry, these answers that it's going to be giving you are going to be very relevant and useful for you. This is the adoption risk. What are risks that are likely to come? What are the mitigation strategies that you can give? Competition risk, again, as first-time entrepreneurs, we may not think about competition very much. ChatGPT is telling you that you need to look at what's your unique value proposition, brand storytelling. Today, it's all about storytelling. Today, it's in YouTube, you're watching videos. You're going to watch videos which are going to be telling you a story, not just your product capabilities. Operational challenges. Again, if you're a first-time entrepreneur, you're new to, say, in this particular case, food industry, you may not know what challenges the industry will do. By seeing these prompt answers that ChatGPT has thrown to you, you can now start Googling, talk to people, Prepare more before you go and meet your investor or start the business. Scaling issues, regulatory. We may not know that for food you need to get licenses, permission, all that. If you are going to drill down ChatGPT, can you go to government of India or Tamil Nadu government or Karnataka government, Mumbai government, and make myself aware of the food licensing policies that I need to be aware? Then you can start preparing yourself for those. Let's go on to the next question. You can also use this to be doing a critical analysis of your business. As a seasoned entrepreneur, can you critically analyze my business proposal? Highlight the top 5 weakness, potential pitfalls, so on and so forth. Again, I'm trying to ideate here. Use ChatGPT as my ideation sounding board. And it's going to think time, it's going to see relevant alternate proposals out there on the internet, see how well I got to be prepared for it, and it's going to throw me answers. Use this as a conversation. If you're seeing, I'm more using this as a conversation with ChatGPT. That's when you can actually get the full power of these large language models, whether it is ChatGPT, Copilot, Google Gemini, or Claude Sonnet. Always use this as a sounding board. Have a chat with it. That's why it's called chat window, obviously. And you look at what ChatGPT is breaking down into: refining market analysis, refining risk assessment. Even that gives you an idea if you have been looking at it very carefully. As a seasoned entrepreneur, I've reviewed your business proposal. Overly optimistic business projection. Anybody seeing this, any senior person would have told you. And before you go and throw this to a investor and get those feedback thrown at you, it's better you are prepared for this. You are aware of these questions that are likely to come in the pitfalls. Scalability, we have saw this earlier. Market competition, critical analysis. It's actually, even if you go to a friend and ask you to do this, the friend is not going to be telling you this as bluntly as this. The marketing and branding strategy lacks specificity and may not effectively reach or persuade your intended audience. And that's a very valid feedback. But think, even your closest friend may not so boldly, frankly, will be able to share you some of these critical criticisms, and that ChatGPT will be able to do that. You can be prepared of all this. Let's go on to the next one. Lastly, I'll take this set of prompts. I want to show in this particular prompt how ChatGPT itself can be used, again extending on your brainstorming, creative aspects of my business. You are asking it, can you give me ideas to differentiate my product? How do I market this organic bakery using latest digital tools? How do I build customer loyalty program that resonates with health conscious individuals? And here again, ChatGPT is going to go to the internet, look at the famous marketing methodologies, modern digital tools, competitive environment in the space, and give you results. In this case, it's actually interesting. I was not planning this, but luckily you're able to see ChatGPT giving you two different responses or two different paths. It has gone into answering this, and the feedback that you give, which one is good, ChatGPT is going to be actually using this to train the model, fine tune it so that the next time you are asking similar questions, it knows, oh, Venkatrangan prefers the response that I've given in response 1, that style, or he prefers response that I've given in the response style 2. See, there is a difference between these two. Of course, the questions remains the same, so the answers are likely to be in the particular direction, but broadly they will be the same, but individually they will be very different. So it's giving you answers. Here it says on the right hand side, differentiating your product, local and seasonal produce, ancient grain, superfoods can be a topic you go. Show that you are ethically sourcing it. Show that you are more focusing on the dietary inclusivity, customization for the individual users, storytelling, farm to bakery. You can tell a story how from the farm this is done, how you have open kitchen concept, ingredient traceability, every ingredient that you put into the product can be traced. These are very interesting points that you can do. Eco-friendly practices, cultural flavor that you can add, and then it goes on to say, the next question we asked was, how do you market it using the latest digital marketing tools? It is giving you those answers. Visual tools, go on to stories, reels, user generated content, influencer partnership, go on to micro influencers. As a startup, you may not be able to go to the big giant movie superstars, but you can go after targeted micro influencers who may be charging you money that you can be comfortable paying, or you can even strike a deal that I will put your banners in my bakery that I'm going to open, or I will name a particular dish. This cake I will name after you. Could be a trade-in that you could do, barter trade that you could do with a micro influencer. A big influencer will not be entertaining those trade-in barters, but a micro influencer will be able to. So blogger collaborations, content marketings, SEOs, email, mobile apps. See, it's given you the entire 9 yards of what you got to be doing, and then building a loyalty program, so on. It's done a lot of heavy lifting for you. Of course, by this itself, you cannot say I've done the full job of creating my company business plan, preparing. This is only a template. It's helping you to start with and get over the white page syndrome. And especially, like I keep saying, if you're a first time entrepreneur, you don't know, and in the industry you don't know much about, ChatGPT can be really useful. Of course, once you have done this, ask ChatGPT recommendations on what videos I can go and prepare myself on these topics that I'm not very comfortable with. I'm not very sure about food licensing. I'm not very sure about zoning permissions in New York. I'm not very particular about the cultural sensitivities. I have to be in London or whichever market you're trying to solve. Get those answers, get those further references that you can go and read. As I keep saying, ChatGPT starts you. It's an assistant. It's thrown you all these advices and the directions, but the hard work has to be done by the individual founder. So I'm sure this set of prompts has given you ideas. Many of you might have already come up with interesting prompts that you could be asking about your business to ChatGPT. Write it down immediately. Play around with these tools. If you're an entrepreneur, I strongly recommend you take subscription to one of these tools, whether it is ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Copilot, so that you can use these tools more and prepare yourself. At the end of the day, our business is when we get customers and make it very profitable. That should be all our goal. On that direction, on that journey, I wish you all a good luck and happy ChatGPT, and wish you super success on whatever business you are planning to do. Thank you.